Good evening. My name is William Penn, and welcome to the Grand Boulevard Coalition show. We're all about a drug-free community. We're all about a drug-free community, and our email, if you'd like to email us, as always, is gbcchicago@gmail.com. And if you'd like to call us and leave a message or talk to someone about our mission and what we're trying to do, we'll be glad to talk to you about it. And that's 312-588-3868. Again, my name is William Penn. I am this year's president for the Grand Boulevard Coalition. Welcome, welcome. We have a lovely guest here today, Vivian Hill. But before we get to Ms. Hill, I would like to remind everybody that our first event for the 2018 season, the opioid, the addiction crisis, is a community response. It's going to be a forum on the campus of IIT on March the 3rd, which is the first Saturday in March, from 11:30 to 2. And we have limited space, and so if anybody's still wanting to attend this wonderful, powerful talk, please RSVP as soon as possible, because when all 35 seats are gone, we're not able to let anybody else in. I will throw this flyer up again at the end, just in case you did not get the registration. So let's start off today by talking to Vivian Hill. She is a community organizer. She has a company that's called Hill ASAP Inc.
Yes.
And her mission is to promote change of attitude, thinking, and behavior of the substance abuse adult and adolescents. Ms. Hill, welcome to the Grand Boulevard Coalition show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, so tell me a little about your background. I heard that you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
In this space.
Yes, I am. I am the owner, founder of Hill Alcohol and Substance Abuse Program, known as Hill ASAP. We offer outpatient alcohol and drug treatment to adults and adolescents. And we do that through helping the individual or the participants identify, address, and resolve their alcohol-related issues.
Okay.
Did you want me to stop there?
Yeah, let's go back to what made you decide to be an entrepreneur in this space of vocational and substance abuse and helping others.
Okay, well, I suffered also from the afflictions of alcohol and drugs.
Okay.
And while out there, I learned that so many people are being disrespected, misused, and not able to heal or get to the root of their problems for lack of whatever the resources, insurance or lack of. So I was committed when I got delivered in 1991. I was committed to helping other people with addictions problems. And I ended up going back to school because all of the addiction disorders are part of the American Psychiatric Association.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2013, they presented DSM-5, known as the Diagnostic Mental Disorders. And they issued a new one. And I wanted to learn more about that so that I can help other people that have the afflictions,
Okay.
the disorders. So I went back to Chicago State University.
I was going to say, so you went back to school.
Yes, I went back to
And you're
Chicago
now at Chicago State University. And
yes.
they have a really good department
in
this field. Right?
Yeah, in
Okay.
this social work. I'm in
Yeah,
the Master's Social Work program.
Master, oh.
Yeah, and
Great.
in order to complete the program, I had to do my internship and practicum. So
Okay.
was commissioned to Grand Boulevard Coalition, well, actually the Chicago area project, which led me to the Grand Boulevard Coalition. And I'm very excited about the mission that you guys have of the fact that most youth don't use. I agree with that, and I'm looking forward to doing what I can to help this organization and be a part of it.
Great. That was actually you. You must know all the questions in my head because I was going to ask you about not only what brought you to Grand Boulevard Coalition, but now what you at Chicago State Learning and what you have dedicated yourself to do along with your startup. What have you found in the Grand Boulevard area and part of the coalition, since we are a coalition of groups of people in the Grand Boulevard area trying to make sure to educate our youth about not using drugs and not using alcohol. And we're going into our 6th year, so that's great that you become a part of something that's been around now for a while and has some traction. And we look forward to see what you're going to bring to the table in this next year, that we can push that a little further out. How would you? What have you found or seen so far since you've been a part of the coalition?
Well, what I've learned is that we spend a lot of time talking about the youth that do use, that we ignore the fact that a lot of youth do not use. Those that do use, I say to the parents, we need to spend more time not browbeating our youth, but creating an environment where they're able to disclose. Sometimes we continue to worry about who they're hanging out with and their changes in their attitude, changes in their behavior. But we forget to look at what's happening at home, looking in the medicine cabinet, because most of our addicted youth, those that do use, they start at home in the medicine cabinet, taking prescriptions that their parents have.
Okay. So do you see that, so on that note, do you see that there are parents that maybe have these problems, and so our kids, I mean, I'm a parent myself,
Yes.
kind of mimic what they see? So if I was unfortunately doing alcohol or maybe drugs or smoking marijuana or any of those type of things, that my kids might pick that up because they think it's cool or something to do? Or
Absolutely.
is it mental?
Absolutely. It is mimicked by what they see.
Okay.
Our youth do what we see, not what we say.
Okay.
You know, and we start them early as kids. We every time they have discomfort, we immediately pop a pill in their mouth or give them some type of medication. Instead of letting them know that it's okay to be uncomfortable, letting them know it's okay to have discomfort. So we start at an early age teaching them that when they're not comfortable, when they feel pain, that they have to grab something. So yeah, we as parents have to create that environment where they're able to disclose, where they're able to talk about what's going on with them, and not just medicate them. And they watch us. If we're medicating every time we have an ache or pain, every time we have something, if we reach for the medicine cabinet, they're going to do the same thing.
Ah, okay. That sounds very powerful. So what would you say parents need to do with their children now? Is it more sitting down and talking to them? So, you know, back when I was growing up, you had to talk, and the talk was about sex and something totally different.
Yeah.
Alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs wasn't part of it. Should that be part of the conversation now with kids, with parents and their kids, and just overall?
Yes, I agree. And I think that we have lost that quality time with our children. In fact, we've lost an entire generation of children. But we've lost that quality time with all this high technology and with them on the phones and on the computers all day and night. I remember growing up, there was a time we had to sit at the kitchen table and communicate with family members,
Right.
siblings and parents. And we couldn't do the sniggling, laughing, and all of that. It was a family time. And I think we've gotten away from that.
Yeah, well, I agree. I still do it in my house.
Yeah,
So, except for tonight because I'm here on TV. And anybody who wants to give us a call and ask any questions to the Grand Boulevard Coalition half hour, please.
Go to other.
Hold on. Here we go. Please call 312-588-3868. We're back.
Yes, we are back.
We're back. Okay. Well, coming up, which let's talk about the opioid addiction crisis, the community response. So the Grand Boulevard Coalition is partnering with several large agencies around the state of Illinois to try to bring this home to our community in a forum where people can get educated and learn more about the opioid crisis. Is there something that you can speak on that, not so much the summit that we're having, but about that crisis and what have you seen over the last 4 or 5 years? Have the age, with pain pills being more readily dispensed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have our kids are becoming athletes at such a younger age that now taking care of those pain might be today might be an aspirin. Of course, if you break a bone, it might be a little more just to put them out in comfort.
Right.
How to keep them from being getting caught up in this crisis that is now going on. Have you seen much in that area?
Yes, William, and as I disclosed earlier, there is an epidemic of opioid use, and it is because it's readily available. You know, there was a time when people would run to the pills, the hydrocortisones, the Norcos, Vicodin. They would run to the pills. But today, pills aren't as available as it used to be. So now they're using the heroin, which is much cheaper. However, I remember reading a few years back that where there is 6 million of people that are abusers, the government should call an emergency to address the issue.
Yes.
However, there are 9 to 10 million people that are addicted to alcohol and drugs, and there's no state of emergency
for alcohol
and substance use.
True.
I think it's really not viewed as a disorder. It's really not viewed as a medical or psychological condition. So we have a difficult time educating, not just the parents, but the adolescents and all people about the addiction process. Yeah.
Okay. How do your organization tackle that? Because obviously you have a business.
Yes.
And people, when I fall off the wagon and I come to you, how do you help me? How do you go through your process of screening and helping people?
Well, one, falling off the wagon is not a bad thing, and it's a difference than.
But I'm just joking. I haven't been on the wagon yet to fall off. But
but it's different than a substance user that continues to use.
Okay.
What we do is try to first remove the substance from them, so that they can feel what's down inside, so that they can get to the root of the problem. Because we must address and attack that root. If we don't, they're going to continue to use. We can get a person sober, but we can't keep them sober if they don't deal with what's inside. Now, I'm not saying everybody was domestically abused or assaulted or anything like that, but we all have situations that are uncomfortable to us. What we teach to our clients is that it is okay to be uncomfortable. It is okay to be less than perfect. It is okay to talk. and we create a situation where they're comfortable disclosing. So, yeah, that's how we handle it. And again, falling off the wagon, if they have one slip or so, it's not bad. It's not a terrible thing. We have to address it though. Find out what happened. Who are they hanging around? What are some of their issues? But because we're always dealing with their issues.
Yeah. I was just looking at the Twitter here, and people are complimenting us on our scarves and our wardrobe. So thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have on these layers. So one thing that you were saying that was very important that I want to come back to is training of our people how to take care of themselves. I've noticed a lot in the in our community, in the Grand Boulevard area, since I've worked like you in that particular area in the South Side and stuff. Post-traumatic stress syndrome. Is that how did I say it correctly? Or
Well, it's post-traumatic stress disorder.
Disorder, yeah. I might get that too.
PTSD.
Right.
Yeah.
So our kids who are in grade school and high school, they are saying now showing signs of that, and so with that in their psyche, they're now getting prescribed these particular maybe pain pills or whatever. If they are, obviously, like you said, they have insurance that they can go to a doctor, but when they decide to self-medicate, which is either with drugs or alcohol, how do we kind of stop that, or is that something that you see in your organization that has flourished to even bring this opioid crisis more to the forefront?
Well, I'm not an MD, so I cannot tell you what someone should.
That's your next degree after you.
Yeah, I'm moving toward it. Definitely. I'm in no position to tell a person what they should and should not do, especially someone that has a disorder of post-traumatic stress. However, their physician or psychologist prescribe for them is what they should follow through with. Now, we, again, we help the people, one, get rid of the problems, and then get rid of the substance use, and then try to address the problems. Being a substance abuser myself, I went through treatment many a times, and there was no help for me. I would get clean, but no one would touch my inner soul, what was going on inside of me. And it wasn't until I was delivered that I was able to see what I needed to work on and what was really important to me. Yeah, I think that we need long-term treatment, more long-term. You can't address a person's issue in 28 days or in 6 weeks or whatever. They're just uncovering it. What we're doing is exposing them and then sending them right back out in the world. And they need more long-term treatment. They need more long-term treatment. Yeah.
So you and your organization is just a blessing to be out there on the front lines helping people. And like you said, you did insurance and no insurance or Medicare or whatever they have. They're not going to get turned away if they at least want to reach out to have some help. Is there like a website or something that they can follow up with you and reach you on or something?
Sure. They can go to healasap.com, healasap.org, and the phone number for Heal ASAP is area code 708-367-0578. Again, our problem with the opioid is not just taking the substance away. We're taking this substance away and sending them people back out in the wild. I remember when this organization started in 2001, I remember sitting down with my pastor, who was Andrew D. Singleton Jr. In Victory Apostolic Church, who
A
helped
wonderful
me.
church.
Yeah,
Wonderful church.
awesome. I love it. I love my pastor. He's a great educator, a
Right.
great teacher, and deliverer of the word. And he's also a great example. He's
Okay.
very transparent, and I try to model that behavior. But I remember sitting down with him and him helping me to unfold the name of the company,
Okay.
which is ASAP, and it stands for Alcohol and Substance Abuse Program. So, yeah, we're out there on the front line, and we doing what we do. You know, it's a commission for me. I didn't plan to do this. It's what God has ordained for me to do.
Look at that, we
Yeah.
got a caller.
Ah,
Yes, and good evening. How y'all guys doing?
We're doing fine. Good evening,
Wonderful.
caller. How are you doing this evening?
Oh man, it's a great day to be alive, that's for sure.
yes, it is.
You know, I just came in and I just turned it on. And this is a topic that I really honestly love. And I'm quite sure y'all guys have been talking about as one time, I'm assuming when you went into detox. It was strictly just for detox. But still, the people kept on coming back with the same problem, and it was something else. Well, back in the 90s, there was a hospital, Doctor's Hospital on Stony Island, and we changed things around. And we noticed we brought psych in, we brought other counselors and things in to foresee what was going on. And there is some good things over there. There's things on the west side, Haymarket, where they bring you in, and once that you're checked, they will diagnose you as a dual diagnosis. They will check you out for your mental, and you take your drugs, and you have your treatments, and then when you're through, you take you steady, you go back to your detox. So again, at the beginning, it seemed like there wasn't no help. Hey, how you doing? It wasn't no help, but now we see it's coming on even stronger. Jackson Park and a few other, I think South.
Oh, something happened. Yes, caller, you're definitely right, and that leads me into you came up with some great stuff, and I just want to put back up. If you're free on March 3rd, 2018 from 11:30 to 2, we're going to have an opioid addiction crisis, a community response forum on the campus of IIT. And we would love for you to be there and speak a little more on what we had in the community and what might still be out there. Before we wrap up, we have one more quick call. Yes, caller.
Yes, good evening. Great show as always. I just want to say this. You know, in the real world, what you are saying isn't right. Because you know parents, because you never say this, you know parents teach the children how to fake injury and pain and all. And what do? Take them to the doctor and get them some Vicodin or whatever it is. It's always been like that. Just like kids want some booze, what happened?
Right.
They're a drunk. And then, you know, that's what gets me. Is the people don't ever talk about the parents being wrong, or just let your son do this or your daughter do that. Tell the truth. 30 to 40% of people of all colors are on drugs, and their kids are, learning that.
Right.
So, tell the truth next time, and all the truth. 30 to 40%.
Right.
That's what's wrong with this world.
Caller, yes. You're exactly right, and that I'm sorry for cutting you off, but we're butt up against our last minute here, and I want to invite you to call in a little earlier next week, and we could pick this up next week. Before we get out of here, I would like Ms. Hill, my wonderful guest, to what would you like to share with parents today that are watching to get the talk starting?
One is, we know when our children have changed. We know when they're starting to be disrespectful, disobedient, staying out later, lying. We know when there has been a change in our child. What we need to do is right then and there create an environment where they're able to talk, where they're able to disclose what's really going on with them. Because sometimes it could just be bullying, it could be all sorts of things. So I say to the parents, we're not responsible. We're good parents. We do the best that we can, but we got to recognize the signs also. Educate yourself, not just your child, but educate yourself in how to treat your child.
Great.
Because most youth do not use.
And on that note, thank you so much for having us in your homes this evening. We look forward to seeing you guys same time next week. And good night.
Thank you very much.